Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Green Life Garden Home DIY channel. So today I am back out here in the garden with another update. I'm going to start with the squash today that I am training to go up a trellis. We've got one coming on. I'm not really sure what is going on with this one, but in situations like this, even though I try to grow all organic, in times like that I will use a more commercialized fertilizer just to make sure this is getting everything that it needs right quick, and so it will be a liquid form. But anyway, the squash is doing good. My grapevine is running all over. I was actually able to harvest another get another stick here, cutting rather, to germinate. I meant to take root and that's doing good. You can see that that one is coming along really fine. So my peaches are getting bigger, as you can see. Got some there and another one here. All right, so I'm going on around here to my tomatoes. I've got tomatoes that have started to come on the vine. That is my Roma tomato right there. This is my Brandywine tomato. And you could tell Brandywine, well, this particular tomato is the first one I've seen that the leaves are just so different. They don't really have that little jagged print like the others do. This is the cherry tomato. And so I've got cherry tomatoes that are starting to come on. There's a cluster right there. My radishes are doing really good. And inside of here actually is another variety of eggplant. And I chose to plant radishes around it because eggplants do take a little while to germinate. And I just wanted to utilize that space. As you can see, the other Black Beauty eggplants are coming along really well. This is another pot that I decided to put radishes around. It is actually okra, and it is the burgundy okra. And this is the Clipsum spineless. This is doing much better. A new leaf is coming out that was damaged. The other day I showed you guys how to go about treating that, so it's doing much better. And this is the other one. It's coming along really well. A little carrot patch there. And y'all look at the leaves on my cabbage. I mean, way bigger than my hand. I'm gonna go around and probably cut these leaves off and eat them. And so anyway, some of the cabbages that got damaged, they're still starting to shape up, so that's really good. And I put a piece of garlic in each one to help with cabbage worms and things of that nature. Here's the rocket tomatoes. They're still coming along good, getting big. This is my loofah plant. I don't know if you've seen the video I had on loofahs, but I like to grow my own sponges. You can eat that particular plant if you go ahead and cut it at an early state. This is my sugar baby watermelons that I had took out of another pot that had too many seeds that I felt germinating. This is another, my yellow meat watermelon. It's doing good. As you can see, it's starting to really run. This is my sugar babies here in this pot. My rosemary is doing good. The ones that did catch. A piece of mint has found its way over in there. My mint is always doing wonderful. My onions here, I purposely let them just stay on and go to seed, so I'll have some. Those are what you call green onion or bunching onions. Okay, let's get over here. Here's my acorn squash, and I wished I had a bloom that was open today. It was so pretty. There we've got the acorn squash. I mean, this thing is so loaded. Oh my gosh, I've got squash all over it. That one, this one, is loaded with squash. And I recently planted that one. And I've got peas planted around these as well, as you can see, just utilizing my space once again. I did have kale planted in this, this pot that did not come up, but anyway, I've got peas in there. Alright, so I've got some broccoli here. You know it takes broccoli a while. And I've got some radishes planted around it. My garlic that I planted from the store is still growing and doing well. I've got some morning glory running there. That vine. This broccoli raw would be ready to eat much faster than the actual broccoli. I mean, those leaves are gorgeous and gigantic. I'm about ready to just eat the leaves, but they will shoot up a stem with a little bit of a broccoli floret on it. And here I have my squash that is in a pot. As you can see, it's starting to put on squash. More garlic there. This is my habanero plant. It is loaded. I mean, I can see blooms and just everywhere. Alright, so here I have my kohlrabi, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and plant more. This vine, this stem got broken somehow, but it's still growing. Got a small one there coming up. They were like planted after the fact. These the water from the rains has just kind of did away with. I went ahead and planted spaghetti squash in the place of the winter squash, because those winter squash seeds, I believe, were just too old. However, I did get one of them to germinate, and so over here in my little corner is where I kind of keep things out of the way. I've got lavender and things like that that is growing over here and doing really good. So let me turn here. Don't mean to turn you too fast. Alright, here's my bell pepper and radish. I'm sorry, my cayenne pepper right here. And it's putting on, let me tell you. So initially with this, with all of my pots, I put wood chips on top, thinking that, you know, it will hold in the moisture and all of that. And it did. It does work for holding in your moisture, but this has created the worst ant bed in this pot. If I start stirring around in here right now, you will see the ants coming out. I've tried to get out here, pour salt on the ground, which has helped dig around in there and kind of get them stirred up, but that's like something I don't think I'll be doing again. I much prefer eggshells or something like that. Anyway, here's my next pepper plant, and it is a yellow bell pepper, and this started out as like just a stick this season, and from the last season is what it's left over from, and it's got you can see blooms coming on everywhere. I've got my cucumber plant here. This is the Telegraph cucumber, and it's starting to run. I've got my jalapeno pepper growing here. I've got another variety of cucumber here. This is a Sumter cucumber, and I've also got an orange bell pepper right here, and those in the pink cups were some that were cut off from it. So right here I have my sorrel that I'm going to be replanting, or repotting, shall I say, because these are some plants that most likely will sell, and I did not want to plant them too soon. They're just right now to go ahead and put in there. And alright, so over here on this side, as you can see, these are so these are my moringa trees. They're doing very well, and I've got some other palms right there, but this is my callaloo I'm going to be repotting, and these are some burgundy okra, and I've got tomatoes here that I'm gonna most likely be getting rid of these plants. I've got some spaghetti squash that is growing there really good. These are loofahs, and one of them I thought was something else. Maybe I'm planting it already. Alright, and those are some eggplants there. That one's probably about to be needing to be put in a bigger pot. And I've got some corn. Alright, some squash right back there in the bag. My turmeric is starting to come up. And so is my ginger. And there we go. This is some Sumter cucumbers. I had to go ahead and remove out of the other pots because I plant more than one seed and I just can't see letting those seeds go to waste. This is some more Clemson spine okra, and I am absolutely loving the way my corn is growing, especially in a kiddie pool system. These are my pumpkins. Get around here and get a good view of my pumpkins. That is 2 plants inside of 1 grow bag. That is a cantaloupe that I planted way later. These are zucchini squash that are doing very well and starting to put on some blooms. And I've got some more corn right here. Alright, I'll try to turn slow as I can. On this side of me, I have my sorrel plants. I would not go without them. They're already trying to put out little sorrel. I probably should take those off to give more energy to the plant, but they're trying to fruit. And I've got them all the way down here. They're going to get really big. And, you know, whatever I can get from them being in the pot, I'll be satisfied with that, being that we're not at the homestead. That one I planted last because, actually a couple of days ago, because the one that was in that pot, I don't know exactly what happened, if they something got to it before I put the eggshells down, because after I put those eggshells down, it stopped a lot of whatever was eating these at a smaller state. So anyway, and the other thing I have is my grapes, my muscadine grapes here that I'll be most likely selling at some point. And I had plenty of those to germinate from last year. And these were crepe myrtles. I forget what color. They're beautiful pink. But I took we had the crepe myrtles actually sitting in the pots when we purchased that from a Kmart before they closed years back. It apparently the seeds dropped out into that area and these started to grow, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna see if I can pull up those little babies and see what happens. And I see there's a new piece coming on. You know, you look at these things, sometimes they look lifeless and dead, but if you just give it a season, you'd be surprised. I got to get the rest of my sago palms out of here. Like I said, I do plant my sago palm seeds every year that they do form on the bigger plant out front. And that's it, y'all. So hey, go ahead, get your stuff together if you haven't yet. Avocados that I've planted, and I just, because of neglect, they look like they do, but once I get back on it, they'll be all right. So that is my little garden right here before we get to the homestead. I'm just determined I'm not going to let not being out there stop me, and you shouldn't let anything stop you. If you live in a small area, get you a bag, get you a pot, do what you got to do. You don't have to have anything actually in the ground. I'm finding out a lot of people now that have lots of land and you know, areas to grow, they're even putting out plants in pots, you know, because you have a lot more control over it. And you know, I'm seeing a lot of what you call greenhouses and things like that pop up, and you know, so my husband had to have hit that yesterday as he was coming through here weed eating, but I ain't mad at him. I'll go ahead and put it in another pot. I appreciate it, him coming back here. Let me tell y'all something. Don't underestimate the power of a compost bin, because Everything I throw in here grows. That's an avocado. Whatever seed that I put in here, especially your bigger hard seeds, they're gonna germinate. That's another avocado coming up right there. I've got avocados all throughout this thing. All I got to do is just pull back some stuff, and I'm sure that pineapple and other stuff that is in there too will begin to germinate, because it's in compost, which is food matter that we just did not see fit to eat. And my pineapples need to be repotted. Well, these that are in the 3 little metal looking containers, but everything else just got repotted, so they're doing okay. And yeah, that's it, y'all. So I'm not going to hold you long. I know this video might be a little bit lengthy, but just kind of want to show you around and the success that I was getting. My moringa tree on the other side that I cut back, I showed you guys last time, it has really jumped. I mean, it is really getting big and beautiful. So before I go, I wanted to show you guys the potato slips I talked to you about a little while back. They are doing really good. Now these are the ones that I've actually cut off of the potato itself that has already rooted, and I'm going to get ready to plant those. So you can see these things were sitting on my kitchen counter, and I mean, they grew long and tall. And so I'm going to go ahead with what I have. I'll cut the rest of those off because they continue to grow as I cut. I look like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 10 slips there that I'm going to go ahead and get planted. And I'm going to cut these and let them catch root as well, and just try not to waste anything. So I'll keep you guys up to date on how those potatoes are doing. May even have to create a whole nother video, so you may hear some repetitive information later on, because people like to see what the end progress is going to be. Sometimes they like to see it from beginning to end, and I like videos like that too, where you can kind of follow along and see what's happening. So anyways, peace and blessings to you all. Continue to stay safe, and remember, don't be afraid to grow stuff and eat it, y'all. All right, one love.